Hey guys, it's Ann Yorks from the Flower Box, and I have a red, white, and boom cookie tutorial for you today. I'm going to show you how to make 5 awesome patriotic cookies, the USA map, the fireworks, the snow cone, the hot dog, and some mini stars. We're going to have a blast. Let's cookie it up. The first cookie I'm going to show you is the stenciled USA map, and I'm outlining this cookie in a dark royal blue, but then I'm going to flood it in using a pastel blue, using the same royal blue gel, just adding a little less gel to get that lighter icing color. I'm going to make sure I flood this cookie very generously. I want a nice flat surface when this icing dries so that it's easy to airbrush and stencil the design. Now the first step is to airbrush the Americana pattern, and I'm just going to slide the stencil around to figure out where I see the pattern looking the best on the background. And then I'm going to use a silver airbrush color to add this subtle pattern to the background. Just a few drops in the airbrush gun, and because I'm using a metallic color, I am using my airbrush speed on high. Now I'm just going to make sure I cover all of those airbrush areas. I'm using that silver spray just to add that pretty background pattern to this cookie. Once the airbrush color has been added, let that cookie dry for at least 20 minutes before stenciling the words. You don't want to lose any of that sparkle power by setting a stencil on the surface too fast. I'm going to use my second stencil, America the Beautiful, and this time I'm going to add that text using icing. So I'm using red icing. I'm just using the piping icing out of my bag because it's stiff enough to hold its shape. I'm spreading it on an icing scraper, and I'm just going to gently slide that icing across the surface of the cookie. Now notice I do have that stencil clicked into a stencil genie. That just helps hold everything into place for me as I work that icing across. Once that stencil is covered, gently lift up the stencil to reveal that beautiful text, America the Beautiful. This makes such a quick and fun cookie. Piping all those letters would take too much time. You don't want to spend that much time indoors in summer, so definitely use a stencil to add that text. Now let's take a look at the fireworks. This is such a fun cookie. You can really do this cookie in so many different ways. I'll show you a photo with a couple variations. But for this example, I'm just going to do some stripes on the main section of that fireworks. And I'm going to also add in the top, the bottom where the sparks are flying out. Let's flood alternating areas to get started. We don't want to flood neighboring icing areas because we don't want to see any color bleeding. That'll really just reduce it by letting these areas dry first and then coming back in and flooding those remaining areas. Now I'm ready to flood in all those white sections to create those blue and white stripes. The details on this cookie are pretty simple. I'm going to add an outline around the top and some outlines across those lines just to add a little bit of texture and to clean up those icing areas there. Then I'm going to add the little sparks flying out. I have the fuse, and then I have yellow icing. This is a 20-second icing. On my icing bag, I have a tip number 3 that makes those nice long, large sparks, and I'm using my boo-boo stick to kind of reshape those little sparks that are coming out. I love the puffiness of this 20-second icing. It just makes these small little details stand up and look awesome. This cookie is so much fun to decorate. I promise it'll have your friends oohing and aahing around the dessert table. You can do polka dots, stripes, use that Americana airbrush pattern. Just have lots of fun with it. Let's take a look at one of my favorite cookies from this set, the red, white, and blue snow cone. I'm going to outline the cone first, and then I'm going to add the white section and the red and the blue sections on the left and right. I love this cookie because it is so much fun, and we're going to add some white sanding sugar to that snow cone area to give it that fun texture that we all know and love at summertime. Now, I'm not allowing these icing areas to dry. I want all of this flood icing to be wet so that that white sanding sugar will stick to it with the first pour. I have a coffee filter underneath my cookie to catch all the extra sugar, and I'm just going to generally dust the top of that icing area. I do find it helpful to let that icing set up for 30 to 60 seconds. That'll keep that white sugar on the surface of the icing instead of sinking in and disappearing. Once that section has a chance to dry, flood in that cone, allow a little bit more dry time. I usually allow 30 to 60 minutes in front of a fan, and then just a simple piped line. I can see this being fun at patriotic celebrations or all summer long. You can even airbrush that section if it's easier for you, like I did on that cookie. Now, it wouldn't be the 4th of July if there weren't a few hot dogs. So let's take a look at this really cute cookie favor. I want to point out that that really unique icing color for the hot dog is a mixture of red and brown food gel. You can find a detailed icing guide on the Patriotic Cookie Decorating Kit page. Just scroll down to get bonus information about this set and the different icing colors that are featured on these cookies. Flood in that hot dog first, allow it to dry, and then come back in and flood the bun. Now on this hot dog, I did allow that hot dog to dry for about 4 hours so that I could add some grill marks using the ultra thin black food marker from Food Doodler. And just like my mom taught me, this hot dog only has mustard on it, but you can add whatever toppings you enjoy. You might just want to make an entire platter of hot dog cookies. They are so much fun. Okay, we're gonna fill in the rest of our platter using these mini stars. This is a great way to use up your leftover icing. Whatever red, white, and blue icing you have left, you can just flood in these stars. I'm using just the flood bag. No need to outline these small cookies, and I'm just not even adding details to them. You can add polka dots or maybe USA if you have the time, but if you really just want an easy platter filler, I suggest just using your flood icing and filling these in. I really hope you enjoyed seeing these 5 patriotic cookies. If you want to recreate these cookies for your summer barbecue, definitely go to flowerbox.com to find the Patriotic Cookie Decorating Kit. Also, don't forget to check out the blog post below so you can get that bonus information about the icing colors and more details. Until next time, happy decorating!